All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So here today I have this cordless Shark in the shop, and I figured this would be a good model to walk through some tips on how to maintain and clean this machine, because it's not entirely easy to take apart. Even someone like me that been working on vacuums for about 16 years, I actually missed a few little details here upon my first inspection. Of course, I don't have the instructions, so I can't consult any of that. But anyways, I figured I would walk through, if any of you don't have your instructions and you're wondering how to take this apart and maintain it, here is some helpful instructions on how to do that. So we'll start first with the this canister here, the actual main body where the motor and the battery is. So the first thing that you want to do is empty this out, so you can take this over to the trash can, hold it over top, and hit this button here and empty that thing out good. Once you do that, you can flip it around here, and you've got a little eject button here that you're going to push, and that's going to remove this whole entire dirt cup assembly apart from the machine. It's going to separate. So this is kind of the most crucial element here, which would be your filter. This is your washable filter set. So you want to take these out, and I use dish soap, dish soap and water, and I get them all sudsy and rinse them out real good. And when I squeeze them, I'm looking for clear water. So when you get clear water coming out of these, you've got them clean. Set those aside to dry, and then when you open up this container here, you want to make sure that this screen in here is not clogged up with hair and a lot of fine dust. So if you need to, get a little brush in there and clean that screen, then that's what you want to make sure here. And then you can rinse this out if you want to, or what I usually do, because this is kind of a two-piece section, that way I don't get water trapped in here. You can kind of wipe this up and wet. But I usually just am sticking with blowing this out with high compressed air, and that usually and then kind of wiping it up. That usually cleans it up pretty good. So all right, now if your machine ever has any clogs, you want to check. In this area here we have your intake. So it's got a relatively small intake, so this would be one area to check, to make sure there's nothing stuck in there right at that turn. And then this wand here would be another place to check. You can look straight through it, and if you don't see anything through it, then you want to see about getting something to pull it out. And you can disconnect this little hose here by just unclipping it right here. And so that will maybe come in handy if you ever do get something stuck. Sometimes the things get lodged in this area because it's got some ridges inside of there, so it can cause something to get stuck. Now with the nozzle, the same thing. So we have just a straight shot down into the opening here, so you want to make sure that everything's clear in there. You can see the intake right here, and that just goes all the way through. And then down at the bottom here we have our brush roll assembly, and I'll show you how to remove that. You can just take a flat screwdriver and unlock it here, and it kind of pops up, and then we're just going to pull it straight out of place. And then if you wash this, my recommendation is to not submerge this. My recommendation is to wash it. I sprayed this with dish soap and water mixture, and then I took a brush and just scrubbed it really good, and then I rinsed it with the water going down. So there's no bearing on this side, and there is a bearing in here. From what I could tell, I could not get this to come apart. So I don't believe they designed this, and the way they assembled it, it's not a what I would refer to as a serviceable brush roll in regards to being able to get access to the bearing. I don't usually see Shark brush rolls designed like that. So you have to just be careful with how much moisture you get into this bearing. So I washed it, with water going down, and rinsed it out really good. And then what I made, just to make sure, I took compressed air, and I just blew out in this area really, really good to make sure it dried quickly. And then I stuck it in front of a small fan to get dry even faster. So once you have this nice and clean, then you can just drop it back in place here. You do have to align this end piece here with the drive assembly right on this side. This is not removable. So it is metal, which is nice, but we will see how the design holds up if hair gets back into there and binds up the bearing. We'll have to see over time if that how that design holds up. I always like to hold my opinions until I've seen, you know, whether or not something actually holds up to hair and stuff like that. So we put the brush roll back in, and we're going to lock that in place. Whoops. And then the other thing that you can do, and this is important because these wheels will oftentimes get hair wrapped around there so bad that they actually stop spinning. So you can take a really small screwdriver and then just stick it in there and pry up and pop these axles out, and then you can pull the axles out and you can clean your hair out. That will pay dividends for you in the long run, because the hair, if you get enough hair in there, it will actually literally stop turning, and then it'll just turn a flat spot. It'll just be scraping in your floors, and eventually it will make it push a little harder than what you're used to. So you can pop these axles out, and then like I showed you, just push them and pop them back in order to reinstall them. So now I'm going to show you how to put this dirt cup assembly back on the machine and reinstall it. As per the instructions here, it says that the thicker filter here goes in first, and then the second filter is going to go on top of that. So we're going to stick that in there like that. And then we are going to install it back in the machine by first installing it here. There's a little lip right here, and that's going to install down in here first, and then you're going to kind of hinge it upwards, and then it's going to lock in. Okay. And that's how that's how I do this service on the machine. And obviously you can plug it back in and make sure everything works before you put it to use. So, all right, guys, I hope this video was really helpful. If there's anything that you thought that I missed, let me know in the comments, and hope you have a great day.